Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Karen. I am here. How are you? We're here. Welcome to the What's with the Dragon episode. So, this is the episode that I know so many of you have been waiting for, that you've been really so freaking excited for me to have this for you. So I'm going to make sure that I have the comments up here where I can see them super easily, and we are just going to get rolling. Hello, good morning everyone. Hi, yes. You can see I have this fancy thing now with the captions on the bottom, and it wasn't finding my mic. So yeah, say hi, tell me where you're from, tell me where you're what you're doing this morning. I'm gonna get a little coffee and then we're going to get rolling. I'm super excited about today's episode. Obviously, because I freaking love dragons, right? Obviously. Well, why do you love dragons? So there's a lot of new people. Hey, Colin. Hey, everyone. There's a lot of new people. There's a lot of people I already know. Some people who knew me before that maybe not know anything that's going on with the dragon. So just a quick introduction for y'all. I am Karen Terrace, and I am the Dragon Doula. I am a super conscious leadership mentor, which means that I help those who are highly driven and conscious to really and fully commit to the metamorphosis that it takes to lead our families, our lives, our businesses, our causes, our countries from a place of using everyday practical magic as well as highly intuitive resources, or what I call super conscious resources. You may also have heard them as psychic gifts. All of them are the same. It's thinking outside of regular human consciousness. And if you think about it, more than 80% of the planet is walking around unconscious. So they're not even in normal human consciousness. They're in like child consciousness, which is why so many people go to therapy and spend so many freaking years talking about their childhood wounds, because their parents didn't teach them how to be an adult, because most of the people walking around in adult bodies are just overgrown children, let's be honest. They throw temper tantrums, they think life isn't fair, they're waiting for a knight in shining armor to come save them, they get upset when the man is after them, even though, you know, the man lent you 10 grand, so you should pay the man back. But no, it's not fair. Massachusetts, Nevada, Brooklyn, yes. Hi, everyone. Florida, yes. Okay, so before we jump into the dragons, I need to tell y'all about what's going on astrologically, mostly because I just recently got more into astrology when I got my own natal chart read. But there has been some crazy alignments going on in the world right now. So last night at 9:37 my time, PM, was a partial lunar eclipse where the top half of the moon was in shadow. And I just thought it was really funny because it's like the top half or the top quarter of our world seems to still be in shadow when it comes to all of the really gross, nasty, evil shit that we're finding out about some of the people in really high levels of power. So that was a very interesting like symbolism for me. And then we had planetary alignments. So literally every planet in our solar system, including Pluto, was on the same side of the sun yesterday. So even though they weren't all in the same like astrological part of the sky, they created this line, this straight portal. And the Schumann resonance, we had another whiteout, so that means when it just gets super high frequency. So for those of you who are into portals at all, the Lionsgate portal that everyone celebrates on 8/8 actually opens during the eclipse season, and this is an even more intense like shooting straight through to source, straight to our galactic sun. And what that means for dragons is that I have placed multiple portals throughout the world. My friend Nicole Fitch opened one over in California. There's one up the trail that I hike every single day. When you guys see that arch in any of my stories or posts, there's like a tree that's like an arch. That's the one here in Salt Lake. There's also a few others that I'm finding, like I'm being called to go to certain places around the world because I know that there are portal spaces that I need to open and activate. But the Dragon's Gateway, which was opened on 11/11 of last year, so if you started going through some shit around last November, you're welcome. It just keeps getting open, more and more open. So anytime you see a galactic portal day or you start seeing words with the word portal, dragons love portals. They are a portal. If you ever watch The Magicians, who here loves The Magicians? I freaking love that show. It's amazing. It's like Harry Potter goes to Harvard. Definitely more of like a millennials type feel to it, but amazing. They literally say dragons are portals. Like if you get swallowed by a dragon, you go to the underworld. But it's not, you're not like in the belly of a dragon. You don't like, no one's going to save you from the belly of a dragon. You go straight, their portal straight to the underworld, straight to the unconscious. Okay? Freaking amazing. Yeah, it explains a lot, right? Yes. Big facts. What platform is it on? Are you wondering how I have subtitles? Is that what you're wondering, Colin? Closed captioning. I'm totally cheating. I'm using OBS and a web captioner, and they're overlaying on the same. So I'm dual monitoring it. Down here is another monitor. Yeah, I'm married to a techie guy who helps me figure out all the shit that I need, because apparently Facebook doesn't just put in closed captioning. You have to have it recording on screen. So here we go. So why am I telling you about the galactic portal? Because it's not ever going to stop. This is, if you learn nothing else, and then we're going to dive into dragons, we're going to get all of that. I know. If you learn nothing else, please hear me when I tell you, there is no going back to normal. Okay? It started last year, last Halloween. Last Samhain, which was the last final year of that time. It's done. If you're waiting for last summer to come back, it's not going to happen. If you're waiting for 2018 to come back, it is not going to happen. There's no... Oh, the show you were talking about. The Magicians is on Hulu. It's on Hulu for sure. The first 4 seasons are on Netflix, and then the final 5th season is on Hulu. They were going to renew it for a 6th season, and then all this stuff went down with COVID, and the ending of the 5th season is so freaking exactly what I'm talking about. A new Earth, a new planet. There's no way that they, like, it was perfect. It was perfect. Yes, go, Colin, you will nerd out on The Magicians and love it. I already know, so... Like, it's super racy, for sure. Like, there's a lot of swearing. And again, it's definitely more for a millennial crowd, so I'll let you all know. But yeah, it's Harry Potter goes to Harvard. That's the best way to put it. Dragon Gateway Portal. Constant expansion. So what's with the dragons? I was a big expand and collapse. So I would have an amazing $12,000 client, and then have a $10,000 heater that I had to put into my house. Maybe not a $10,000 heater. It was like a $5,000 heater. But that was my pattern, at least monetarily. And I'm going to talk about money because everyone relates dragons with money, but you could literally put this into anywhere. You could put into your dating life. You could put it into your relationship with your kids. Like things go super well with your kids, and then all of a sudden it's just like hell. It like collapses, or like things are going great with 2 out of your 5, but the other 3 are just crazy, or you're actually doing great with all of your children, but your husband and you are totally at each other's throats. Or the family life is totally cool, but your car keeps breaking down. Or those things are fine, but again, the bank account. So you see how it could be really... Yes. Love the magicians. It can be overwhelming for me to give you guys constant different analogies. So for right now, we're just going to talk about money. Again, because we all kind of think about Smog in The Lord of the Rings. When we think about dragons, I have a lot of really fun little money hacks for it. And why would you want to connect to your dragon energy? What? So many of you were like, yes, I want to know how to connect to my dragon guides. Well, a lot of it has to do with prosperity, right? Let's be honest. So many of us are in this space where we're like, you know what? I do really great in certain areas of my life, but I don't do great holding on to vast income. Or maybe you're really great at holding on to vast income, but you're not great at holding on to your temper when it comes to your children. Or maybe you're, right? It's literally anywhere that you can think that is not in the same frequency as other areas of your life. There's a dissonance. And dragon energy is harmonizing. It's like dragons are a singing crystal. So I did a live stream on this back in like March. Singing crystals are us. Our throat chakra, and well, actually our higher heart chakra, is right here. And it is like right where you're, like the soft point is on your throat. Right below it, right where your sternum starts and behind, is your higher heart chakra, which is unfiltered, raw, creative power through unconditional love. So Atlanteans, so if you've ever been, you have any memories of being at Atlantis or Lemurian or any of those things, they had one giant chakra here. So their throat, their higher heart, and their heart chakra are actually like all one. And we split them up after the Atlantean, what do we want to call that? Experiment, because we didn't forget that we were gods. That's the point of Earth. The point of Earth is to have this physical body, to have emotions, to have physical experiences, to have duality, to have black and white and man and woman and all of the different parts, good and evil, all of the duality, and to remember through experiences that, oh, we're actually gods, we're actually singular God, we're actually all fractals of unconditional love, here singing our own unique frequency, our own version of what it is to be a god, to create. Because the second I die, you guys all go away. Right? I don't know where you're gonna go. You think that I'm gonna leave? No, you guys all leave, right? So I am creating my own reality. And I can choose to be wallowing in sadness and anxiety and my childhood stories. So the Atlanteans, they didn't have this forgetting thing. They knew that they were gods the second they came down here. So yeah, they were playing, but like back in Atlantis, the dragons were walking with us. We were shape-shifting into dragons. Like there wasn't as much of the veil of forgetfulness, and honestly, it got kind of fucking boring. Atlantis, yep. It got boring. And some other things went down. If you've ever read the work from Edward Casey, he talks about the Martians and the War of the Planets. If you're ever talked about reptilian people, all of those things can go back to the times of Atlantis. And then essentially us current humans started coming around about 20,000 years ago, right? They can look at the human brain and realize that like some structures haven't really changed in 10,000 years. The part of our brain structure that has changed the most is actually speech and communication, as we had the written word. And that's something that I really emphasize, that the dragons have really emphasized. When you hear me talking about frequency, I'm talking about all frequencies. So energy frequency, sound frequency. I'm also talking about the frequency of a word. So I'm super into etymology. Any of my clients will tell you that I am the word nerd. I make them pull apart their mission statement and really tell me why they're choosing every single word, because each word has a very specific vibration, and what you think a word means might not be what the rest of us think that word means. So you're out here telling everyone, oh, well, this is what I do and this is how I serve, and nobody gets it because the words that you're using aren't, you're using them in your own context of like coachy consulting language and not in the context that your client is using them. So who gives a shit about dragons? Why would you care that you have a dragon guide? Why should you want to connect to your dragon guide? So let's give you guys a second to answer that. Why, when there are 21 people on this live stream right now, why are you watching? What is the purpose? What is it that you want? Because I could literally go off for hours upon hours about dragon anatomy, about what each thing, what it means if you see claws in your dreams versus if you see something else, their teeth or their scales. I can talk about everything in the whole galaxy was birthed through the heart womb of a dragon. So dragons have this ability to, they have one organ called a heart womb. So as soon as they know what they value, which hits their higher heart immediately, they have this womb that immediately starts creation. So dragon energy is pure creation energy. It's pure second chakra energy. So sexual alchemy, amazing. Being able to take those collapsing things. So if we go back to that, oh yay, I just closed a $10,000 client. Oh fuck, I just have to put in a $7,000 heater. Okay, expand, collapse, expand, collapse. Dragons don't collapse. Dragons don't collapse and are really I'm trying to see how to fit this in. Dragons don't collapse because they don't give a fuck about anything. So creative energy, that second chakra energy that everyone's always talking only about sex, there's a reason why I was a parenting coach before dragons dropped in. I needed the innocence of childhood. I needed that innocence of full understanding what creation really is. Your creative energy that you had when you were a little kid is the same creative energy that is sexual, that creates a human. You having an imagination, a thought, and then drawing it and creating, that is a requirement. It's a requirement for you to really and truly see what you're capable of creating. Little 7-year-olds don't give a shit that you don't like their painting. Well, 7-year-olds do. 4-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, they don't care. Everything they make is amazing. Every little smear, it's why they're sitting there smearing God knows what all over your walls. So if you can have a lightness and a heartedness about your children coloring all over your walls and be enjoying their art and their creation versus feeling being angry that they painted on your wall, right? Like what the adult thing to do would be to overreact and I can't believe you didn't, and you're missing out. You're missing on this beautiful creation that your child has made for you, probably for you, like, and you're screaming at them. So yeah, that's all I really want to say about like all of dragondom for now. And I want to connect some people with their dragons and teach you how to connect to your own dragon. And that'll be it for today. But so if you've been curious, like why I talk about dragons and what's with the dragons and why is it that everything seems to be dragon related with me, it's because I am a pure creative force. I know who I am as a fractal of God in form. I know what I am, which is a creator fully manifested here to have the biggest, baddest, brightest life I can while liberating others from their own suffering of this illusion of pain only. We're all here for pleasure. Creativity. 2-year-old smearing poop on the walls, you guys. She is having a blast, I promise you, until she gets yelled at. And to activate that ancient magic that our ancestors had access to reawaken the Kundalini, to reawaken the life force of creativity. So many people talk about it as sexual energy. If you have done like yoni healing or healing your sexual self or any of that stuff, that's awesome. A lot of that stuff is precursor to my work anyway. I am here for pure creation. It's not that you have a fear of being not enough. You know that you're good enough to have whatever you want. You have this fear of like, well, maybe what I want is really too much. Like maybe what I want is really fucking insane. Like what I want to be able to do is shapeshift in my inaugural speech for President of the United States, and everyone who's at a high enough vibration can see me in my dragon form, and everyone who's not will just see me as my human. That's a pretty crazy dream, especially to announce publicly on a live Facebook that's public, and Facebook itself has over 1 billion people on it. And I don't care. There is not a single thing any person could say about me that would take me out of alignment with knowing that I'm here to create an entirely new way of living for my children. They're not going to go through therapy as a rite of passage. They're never going to need to hire a transformational mentor or life coach. They're going to be entrepreneurial spirits from the beginning. If that's what they want, they're going to be able to have any form of bliss that they want to pursue. The only key to life is happiness. So if you're happy doing it, then I support you 100%. And I know a lot of parents say that, but I seriously mean it. If you came into my homeschooling, you'd be like, and whatever. I don't think that it's been working. The system hasn't been working, so why would I adhere? Right? Don't want to collapse. Okay, I'm going to read some of these here comments. I want to step into my power and create to lead from abundance. Cool. So being able to create constantly also means to be destroying. So when you are in alignment with your dragon energy, you are in alignment with the singing crystal, also known as the Philosopher's Stone. If you might have heard of this little fancy thing, it's supposed to be this crystal that allows you to turn lead into gold, water into wine, poison into medicine. It's you, babe. It's you being able to come out of mass consciousness, global consciousness, to come out of the shadows, to come out of your unconscious mind, to create a unified will of what it is that you really want to create in this world, and to stay in alignment with that constantly, even when your world is blowing up around you. I'm not here sprinkling unicorn fairy dust, y'all. Dragons are destructive as fuck. Toddlers. Dragons are toddlers, okay? They're just like as wise as the aeons go, but they're still freaking toddlers when it comes to the fact that they destroy their blocks as soon as they've built the towers, because the joy is in the creation and in the destruction, and the actual finished product is neither here nor there. They create to serve, so it's who they are serving that is much more important than whatever creation it is that they've made. So it doesn't matter if they don't ever sell any of their, they don't sell their product the way they want to. Their launches don't go the way they want. And because there's no attachment to the launch going the way that they wanted to, or hitting a commission or doing any of those things, they end up hitting them. Because dragons are a giant fucking paradox. I mean, they're huge and massive, and yet they can fly. Or they hold fire in their belly, like, without exploding. Love their full strength. I have more, I met mine years ago. Love their beautiful power. Yep. Nature spirits, Lemuria, Atlantis, fairies, mermaids, and dragons. Cool, yeah, so just learning more. Honestly, go explore some of the old myths, some of the fairy tales. There's a lot of truth in those legends that were meant to keep us normal people confused. Like even the story of Hades and Persephone, you could see that actually if you go back and read. There are many texts older that only talk about Persephone as the goddess of the underworld, and it's not till like thousands and thousands and thousands of years later that Hades even is mentioned. And that story is really about the Jungian psychological quote of, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. It's about a deity splitting herself in half to experience duality until she is drugged back into the underworld after experiencing all of this crazy, insane suffering, then eating a pomegranate, taking herself back into herself, and then remembering, oh yeah, I created that because I was bored as fuck being an all-powerful eternal being. If you look at myths from that perspective, that everything really fucked up, that we're just like, oh, I can't believe they did that, was actually because we're all eternal and we're all playing these things out, because it is really boring to just be like surfing around in the cosmos for millennia. I mean, I'm looking forward to doing it after this lifetime, because trust and believe this is my last lifetime as a human for many, many, many thousands of years. But I've also been here for 80,000 consecutive lifetimes. So I am fucking done for a while. But not till the ascension is complete, which is why I'm here with the dragons and the keepers. Yeah, just explore. If you're being led to anything magical, let your inner 5-year-old out. Let that little girl that was told, oh, you're just seeing things out. That's the trick, guys. Connecting to your dragon, connecting to any of your super conscious resources, but specifically to your dragon. Some of you are already doing it. I know that some of you are saying in here that you saw your dragon at the edge of your bed, which is cool, Trinity. That's awesome. Yeah, okay, Josh, I'm literally getting there right now. How do you connect to it? The first thing we're going to do right now together, everyone, let's all take a moment. Everyone put your hands on your heart. Nice deep breath. And then close your eyes, but focus your gaze inward and upward towards your third eye. And I want you to really connect that higher heart point, so right underneath your hands and your third eye, and just clear all of that out. There might be coughing or like gagging. You might notice some postnasal drip happening. Clear that channel out and really concentrate on everything I see, I can believe. Everything I see, I can believe. Or I can believe everything I see, or I do believe everything I see and hear. So opening those psychic channels, those super conscious channels, connecting to your dragons who are obviously not here in 3D right now because it would freak everyone out. you have to open your imagination wider than the conventional adult allowance of it. Like, oh, well, I can create because I'm going to make a lot of money for it, is probably not going to get you connected to your dragons. If you're creating because of a much bigger purpose, so I always teach purpose driven over profit driven goals, because dragons, while associated with a fuck ton of money and have brought a ton of prosperity to all of my clients, they're not the hoarders that they're played out to be in Lord of the Rings. They are actually much more Robin Hood-esque, where they get all of the gold so they can disperse it around. So like those people who are like me, like I want to create $1 billion brand so that I can literally end poverty and starvation and get all of the resources to Africa and third world countries that don't have it, when we here in America are throwing away enough food every year to feed all the people that die every year from starvation. That shit doesn't make sense to me. So if I have to go make $1 billion so that I can go fix that, then I'm gonna do that. Yeah. So how you connect to the energy, Josh, dragons are real. You have to start believing aliens are real, mermaids are real, fairies are real. Just because, like, can any of you guys see the Wi-Fi signals that are helping you to see this video? Like, I know you're seeing the video, but can you actually see the Wi-Fi signals like floating through the air right now? No. Can you see the electrical current? No. Can you see any of the other crap that's like floating through the gamma rays and the x-rays and the all? No. There's literally like 4 billion bits of data going on around you at any time. And we only, as like an average person, takes in 3 to 5 bits. A conscious person takes in 5 to 7. And someone that's like Nostradamus level channeling mystic takes in about 11. 4 billion, and the most intense psychics that have like allowed themselves to be hooked up to any of these sorts of tests are only taking in 11. There is so much out there we're not seeing, and we have been conditioned by Newtonian physics to only believe what we can see. I can only believe that this bottle is here because I can hold it in my hand and touch it. And yet, we then discovered quantum realms. We then discovered all of these other things. Yeah, and I'm sorry about the background sound, guys. I have to have a fan on in here. It gets really hot. And then there's also like a buzzing that I honestly have not been able to identify yet. So I'm super sorry if that's been annoying anyone. No one's really mentioned it yet, but I know that some people might hear it. Okay. Let's see. Well, I had a dream where I was across the street and walking the sign said 19. When I got to the other side, it was a golden sunset. There were hundreds of white baby dragons flying everywhere and holding golden letters that spelled you in front of me. Yeah, so white baby dragons. White dragons, for the most part, are source dragons, Sophia dragons. White and gold dragons from Lyria sometimes. What I'm getting for you though, Shakuri, is source dragons. Like, you have all these tiny little ideas that you have fractal, you've got all these little baby dragons and you need to like bring them together to make one big massive dragon to really find the source of your power, because right now you've got like some split stuff going on. Since the first dragon invocation I did with you, I've had a white dragon that sits by my right side. His name. Okay, so there are pure white dragons from Orion. Thank you. And that would make sense. So if any of you guys have recently been seeing, I know I just said source dragons, but if you've been seeing white dragons from Orion, right now is when the Orion's belt would be lined up with the pyramids of Giza. Is about this time of year around the solstice. So those dragons, pure white dragons from Orion, have been coming in super, super strong. And they are all about truly solidifying any sort of spiritual practices, spiritual discipline. The word is discipline I want to use. Because when you keep yourself in your own discipline, when you keep yourself to your word, remember how words are so important. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word was God. If you're going to make a commitment, the pure white dragons from Orion help you to strengthen any commitments. But that means that you have to get really specific with your commitments. Because if you break a commitment when you're practicing with the white dragons from Orion, then the repercussions can be kind of intense, because their whole thing is about that, like, I am a warrior, I keep my word is my life, right? Definitely don't want to collapse. Yes, no, we don't want to collapse, that's true. Heard the invocation January, I felt things bubbling up, so I can't just see them. So okay, so let's talk about, I did a So I did a live stream the other day about how I channel, so I'm not going to go into that specifically, and it looks like Facebook is being really choppy right now. We might have to part 2 this, because I wanted to do some channelings and get you guys connected, but if it's too choppy, then that's not going to work. What's a gold dragon? So the deck that I use, like, there are so many types of dragons, and then your own dragon presents as a certain way. Like, my dragon presents as a black diamond titanium scaled dragon, so she's got black diamond titanium strength scales. It's like alternating. And she's really fucking giant, like a huge Maleficent. But some of my clients' dragons are like little tiny, like pocket-sized dragons. So personal dragons can be different sizes. Gold dragons, golden solar dragons for divine masculine is what I'm really getting for you, Jason. Like that divine masculine solar energy of just exuding royalty, like the good king. Like I'm thinking of like King Richard the Lionheart. How's the quality, guys? Because I definitely see the choppiness, and I don't want to keep going if the quality is just horrendous. Yeah, Trinity, your dragon energy is up. Where can we find the dragon invocation? Okay, so all dragon invocations are, and then the channeling was like on a live stream the other day, guys. I literally talked about like using 2 different colors of pens. So if you want to know how to connect to your dragon, it's super easy. Get 2 different colored of pens. Take the first one, take a couple deep breaths, connect inward, take some breaths like we did before to clear this channel. Say, I want to connect to my dragon guides. I want to hear a message from my dragon. Take the first colored pen and write, what is the message I have from my dragons? Immediately drop that pen, switch to another one, don't fucking think, and just start writing. When you switch the pen, you have given permission to your dragon to essentially take over your body and write for you. So you're channeling high frequency energy through your human form by giving it permission. By what I set the intention that I'm going to speak to my dragon self today. What is it that my dragon self needs? You write that in one color. You have made the choice. So a declaration is like that. You don't question a queen or an empress's declaration. If she declares something, if she decrees something, it is so. It's the same thing with an intention. So many people think that an intention is like, oh, it's like a wish. Like, it'd be real nice if my new moon intention would come true. No, if you make an intention, you claim it to be so right fucking now. So if you set an intention to talk to your dragon, and you're going to do it by using this channeling method that Krista taught me, and I went into, again, there's like a 12-minute video on it from earlier this week, and you use this, you are talking to your dragon when you switch pen colors. The thing is trust. You have to create the trust that you actually are doing that, instead of trying to make yourself believe that you're not. So that's a limiting belief. That's that believing is seeing. I believe that when I switch my pen color, I'm speaking to my dragons. Now, if my super logical Vulcan dad came in, he'd be like, no, you're just doing it. But we don't worry about the naysayers, and we don't worry about any of that. If you want to know more about the dragon invocations I've done in the past, though, here is the YouTube channel that has all of those on it. It's called Dragon Magic. Jesus, that was hard. Oh my gosh. Copy, paste. Yeah, pen switching microphone. It's freaking amazing. You guys, I channel my to-do list every morning with this practice. I've channeled a $1 billion brand that's hitting $1 million this year. I write all of my programs. I do all of my work with the dragons is channeled using that microphone, or I'll do it with like a dictaphone. If I'm like up in the canyon, then I'll just use my cell phone. I have like a voice recorder. But you can hear my voice is even different when I'm doing that. I don't know why the picture is frozen. I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's fine. If you guys can hear me, that's all that really matters. I'm not worried about it. Let's see, is there anything else? If you guys have any questions, since you can hear me, let's just keep going. Most likely my family is like watching Netflix while someone else is watching YouTube. Like, they're probably just eating on my Wi-Fi. I'm going to try to be like hard plugged in next week and see if that helps. And then I'm just going to wait. I know I'm also like about 20 seconds ahead of you guys, so I'm going to just wait and watch for the comments to come in. And then in the meantime as well, while we're waiting for those comments, are there any else? Okay. In the meantime, for those of you who might not have heard yet, if you're really loving this, if you're super like, yes, I want to know more about dragons, I want to know more about how to tap into my own super conscious resources, I want to know how to have a crazy dream as big as being president and a dragon and talking to aliens and not be afraid to say that out loud in public. I want to create that $1 billion brand. I want to create that nonprofit. I want to really end classism, slavery, racism, poverty, famine, any of them. any of that stuff. If you're ready to really, truly do that, then please, 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 please join us inside of Super Conscious Leaders. It's my paid membership group. That is $97 a month. If you join this weekend, I'm giving away all sorts of crazy bonuses. I'm not going to go super into it because I don't want to be a like super intense salesy woman right now. I just really wanted you guys to have this access to this because I know so many of you in here in this specific live stream are going to benefit from it. You go through the whole journey of, okay, I know that I am a caterpillar that becomes a butterfly, but what happens? We collapse and we become a caterpillar again. We're flying, we're great, we're doing good, and then we're a caterpillar. We're constantly collapsing, we're constantly going to and fro, we're constantly almost making it and then running back to safety. I'm so bored watching people do this. Fucking boring. Watching people expand and collapse and expand and collapse and expand and collapse and expand and collapse and expand and collapse. And this is great, but this is bad. But this is great, but this is bad. What if that just didn't happen anymore? That's what I did because I was so fucking tired of it. And you can hear it in my voice, like the irritation. I was so tired of it that I remembered that when first of all, I remembered that I am Dragon Empress Karen. Empresses make decrees that are followed no matter what. I know that I am the physical representation of all these light beings, dragons, fairies, ascended masters, inner earth beings, extraterrestrial beings, intergalactic beings, gods, goddesses, deities. All of these people, beings, guides, are filtering through me so that we can together finish our divine mission. I might be the one holding the pen. And yes, Sonia, you do switch if your consciousness, if you have like a follow-up question, then switch pens. Questions are in one pen color, answers are in the other, if that helps. I have channeled Mother Mary. I channeled Kali Ma, Kuan Yin, Jesus, Thoth. Channeled different aliens, inner earth beings. We know that we're not alone in the universe. Based on science, actually, there's about 36 different planets that could absolutely be holding life. It's extremely arrogant and egotistical of us to assume that we're the only intelligent form of life on the planet, in the world, in the galaxy, in the universe. Yeah, we're really hidden. We're actually pretty low vibrationally, especially if you look at everything that's going on in the world. But can you allow that compassionate curiosity of your inner 4-year-old to rule your life again? To literally not give a fuck that you're gonna get in trouble. Because you know that mommy actually loves you. It's the thing about 4-year-olds, right? It's the thing I love about dragons is that I can literally give up, just cry and sob in my bed, embracing so deeply in gratitude that I am in a physical body and can feel so fucking sad and so mad and sit there and curse. You know what? Fuck off, Archangel Metatron. This is hard. Being human is hard. And I can go to bed and I can have all these amazing dreams and I can wake up the next morning and I can find out what the fuck was that all about and move on with my next action step and be totally back to bliss, to gratitude, to loving the life that I've chosen here on earth, getting to teach this. I live an amazing life. I have a partner that I have been with since I was 18 years old, that we almost got divorced 2 months ago. And it was because I didn't think I was worthy of being fought for. I didn't even give him a fucking chance to fight for me. I was just packing my bags and out the door because I didn't think I was worthy. And now we're back to being the power couple that everyone has seen and was actually kind of like, what the fuck, you're leaving? Because I had issues with my worthiness still. But I also know my own triggers, and I know in my body when something is happening as a lesson versus no, this needs to happen, you gotta go. I have 3 kids that don't look conventional. I don't parent conventionally. I have so much fun teaching my children and disciplining them, because disciplining is teaching, not punishing. We don't have big blow-ups. We don't have any of that stuff because I know that my children aren't miniature adults. They're actually children, and I'm letting them be children. And I'm really, truly giving them all of the sovereign choices that they have in their world. I have a super successful business that continues to grow and grow and grow. I have a community of leaders that literally are changing industries. The beauty industry is being changed. The acupuncture industry is being changed. The tech industry is being changed. I've got clients working with Fortune 1000 companies channeling aliens, literally. If you're still questioning whether or not you have the capacity to bring in something really new and really innovative and change the fucking world, then connect to your dragon. Ask them why you're stuck. That's it. Ask them what you need to know. Ask them anything because they're here to help. Same thing. Maybe you're not into dragons and you just really want that. You just keep seeing Mother Mary fucking everywhere. Then ask her. Ask her. She'll tell you. And she's not gonna lie. I said this last week on my live stream. The universe never sends you anything that you can't handle. Ever. The universe is like an Olympic coach. An Olympic athlete curses her coach, swears, begs him to stop, says she can't go on, lays in her ice bath just crying at how hard that training was going to be, and holy fuck, I gotta do it again tomorrow. And she hates him, and she hates him, and she says, why are you doing this to me? And I just can't, and I'm never gonna. And yet, when that Olympic athlete wins the gold medal, the first person she goes and hugs is her coach. Let me be that coach for you. Please. It's boring watching you collapse. It is much more fun watching you fail and learning the lesson, because you know that you're not collapsing, that you're not being punished, that you're learning, that you are being brought into a spiritual discipline that allows you to be a philosopher's stone, to be a singing crystal. I'm not here to just connect you to some other dragon guide. I'm here to help you realize that you are a dragon. Being a dragon doula means that I help you birth your dragon here on planet Earth right now, to help with the ascension revolution, to help bring the masses out of unconscious living and straight into superconscious awareness. Yes. Amazing. Yes. Innocence. All of it.